Suji, Dagi, Chunye, Gibe, Tsunagi, Rola, Benje, Zangi, Juba, Jo, Judan, Zugi, Juna, Lai, Janju, Badu, Dani, Kasuji, Dagi, Chunye, Gibe, Tsunagi, Sange, Juba, Jo, Judan, Zugi, Juna, Lai, Janju, Badu, Dani, Kasuji, Dagi, Chunye, Gibe, Tsunagi, Rola, Benje, Zangi, Juba, Jo, Bege Jojin Medoda, Mira Lingini de Kemade, Zange Jindo Mide Ruaye, Doge Nanda Shin La Juba, Ju, Ida, Urana Mendala Kandi Adaya,
Dewan Deja Lando Kolochi doing the he one who dig a pitch of the Mountain. The GPC for the China in the future in the television. The Shini Walamala is shooting at the same.
Please sit in 7 meditative postures of Vairocana. All sentient beings have been my mothers. And all sentient beings have been my mothers for numberless times, not just once. All sentient beings are as kind as my mother in this life. Even though all kind mother sentient beings want happiness and do not want even a small suffering. However, due to engaging wrongly in objects of adoptions and abandonment, they experience sufferings only. In our mind, sincerely generate loving kindness towards all kind mother sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if all kind mother sentient beings had excellent happiness. May all kind mother sentient beings have excellent happiness. I will cause all kind mother sentient beings to experience excellent happiness. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
The age is the one that is in the town, which is religion, and then you she never lost religion to the church. Tata the Tana Chima, Chow Chichi Chow, Dabisha to the Shibu Lama,
Next, we generate bodhicitta to all sentient beings by thinking, how nice it would be if the body of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as pain, sickness, and problems caused by 4 elements. May the body of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the body of all suffering mother sentient beings from a class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
The age is the one that is in the town, which is juggled the net and not the Tarani, but Tara the Chimney. Chow Chichi Chow, Dabisha to the Shibu Lama, and Shibu.
Next, we think, how nice it would be if the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as fear, mental suffering, and coarse and subtle conceptual thoughts. May the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the minds of all suffering mother sentient beings from class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so.
The age is the one that is in the town. Wabu Zina said, Majing and Tara Tata and Chimney.
Next, we think how nice it would be if the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue, such as lying, negative speech, and coarse and subtle lying, speaking harsh words, and coarse and subtle negative speech. May the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the speech of all suffering mother sentient beings from class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. In brief, how nice it would be if the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings were free from class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. May the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings be free from class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. I will free the three doors of all suffering mother sentient beings from class that is discordant with accomplishing virtue. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. How nice it would be if all sentient beings were free from suffering and its cause. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and its cause. I will free all sentient beings from suffering and its cause. Lama, please bless me to be able to do so. Next, we generate bodhicitta first by asking ourselves, we should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and of lower realms. I should take on the responsibility to free all mother sentient beings from the sufferings of samsara and of lower realms. But I do not have the ability to do so now. Who has the ability? Only those who have achieved the perfect complete enlightenment have the abilities to do so. Therefore, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. Next, we generate all-encompassing yoga mind. The conventional aspiring bodhicitta that thinks, for the sake of all mother sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. These transform into a complete white mundis at one's heart. And the ultimate bodhicitta, that is one's mind becoming in one taste with emptiness. the lack of inherent existence, that transform into a white five-pronged Vajra on top of the mundis. Next, we meditate on emptiness for a short while, that I exist, neither inherently one with, nor inherently different from the aggregates. Thus, I do not exist inherently.
That is not to Shiria. That when that goes to the gay show, connected to by she's a project to be managed to the kitchen. That was choosing the sub of the because it was a goes to get a religious sub and he seemed to know the job the injury teacher, but something don't say how much to do enough. That is don't say the teaching, this.
And it is also very important to conjoin whatever roots of virtue that we do with our three doors with the practice of six perfections. So the first one is the practice of generosity. And generosity is a mind of giving. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, whatever roots of virtue that I accumulate through my three doors, I give it to all sentient beings in order to benefit, in order to achieve sentient beings' happiness, and also to pacify their suffering.
The pages are also the kind of points in the that was what Nessa was a cheap because of a legal immediate to know the Majua. So in the dig on say that media push China. They want to do question in this.
Next is the practice of morality. And morality is a mind of abandoning. What does it abandon? It abandons physical and verbal negativities. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will properly abandon my physical and verbal negativities so that they do not manifest.
But they just say, suppose I want to do same to I also get to see me within a Nessa was a cheap because when we sell a Gangi Chumbaina, Telape, Pondolin Setubachi, Pondolin Setuban, Chumbaina, they want to see question this.
Next is the practice of patience. Patience is an undisturbed mind. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, whatever physical or mental hardships occur, I will be patient with it. I will accept it voluntarily.
But they just want to finish pushing young Simon. Since you the Giola choice in Vassy, that near some goes to Chebala, Hajan to say Gawata door. Gioa door, the Sinti Tension should use a singing about door to Nichumbaina. That you would change Sinti pushing this.
Next is the practice of joyous effort. And joyous effort is a mind that takes delight in accomplishing virtue. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will take delight in virtue. I will take delight in accomplishing virtue for others and working for the benefits of others.
That is also Sunday personality. Sunday still also same game, but currently mean take the name of the same is the same neighbor. That is supposed to cheap because of that same big shower of Neighborji. That he not to the Maya on the commando, say the gay shower put me to Vaina. This Sunday personality.
Next is the practice of meditative concentration. And meditative concentration is a mind that single-pointedly focusing on any of the virtuous object. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will focus my mind on the virtuous object and do not get controlled by conceptual thoughts and distractions.
That is also huge personality. That is all the children of Namji no say. That huge personality was Nessa was 수익도 야고 제바이나 다 피해랍 첨부 타발 터지고 고바도 피해가 심하지 다 내사 고스 마지바이나 다 차다 모스만 그래 너무지 싸니 때 간다 와라 진마 제바도스 제고야 네미스 하 고비토네 히비토네 때 갑도 지마서 마 유저도 가리나 치다 되는 바 시도 마지 좀 바이나 이렇게 좀 하시냐는 쓰겠어.
Next is the practice of wisdom. And wisdom is an awareness that thoroughly distinguishes phenomena. So during these 2 hours of listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I properly understand the benefits of doing so and the faults of not doing so. For example, if I do not engage in listening, contemplating, and meditating on Dharma, I will fall under the control of afflictions, attachment, anger, and ignorance. And due to this, I accumulate karma that results in a numberless rebirth in cyclic existence. And in particular, I will properly understand the meaning and words of the teachings. Set a good motivation. For the sake of all mothers sentient beings, by all means, I will achieve the state of enlightenment. For this purpose, I will properly receive the commentary on the holy teaching, Lamrim, and practice accordingly in order to benefit sentient beings.
Thank you. 다 같이 만들게 상식이 자동 조직의 만들어와. 다 드린 완성한 내시의 만들어서 내시 시시로와. 같이 찾기 좀
To continue the topic on Bodhisattva vows, so in previously we talked about 18 root downfalls of Bodhisattvas, or 18 root vows of Bodhisattva vows. So today I'm going to talk about 46 secondary vows. So the first secondary vow is neglecting to pay homage to the 3 jewels each day. So the first secondary vow to abandon is neglecting to pay homage to the 3 jewels each day. So every day, if we do not pay homage with our 3 doors respectfully to 3 jewels, then we will break this secondary vow. So we have to abandon these actions. So whatever food or whatever drink we have, then we have to offer it to the 3 jewels. So if we do not offer it to the 3 jewels, the first portions of it, then we will break these vows as well. So we shouldn't act like an animal. So whenever we see food and wherever we see a beverage or water, then we just drink it without hesitation. We just eat it without hesitations. So we shouldn't act like an animal. Instead, we should use a human's intelligence and then think and use it to pay homage to the 3 jewels. So the advice the advice for these vows is we should always make offerings or pay homage to the three jewels by offering flowers, by offering food, water, and incense to three jewels. So through which then we will accumulate extensive merits. And the second secondary vow is following the mind of desire. So following the minds of desire, meaning that we do not we are not contented with whatever we have, and we always strive for gain and honor. So I'm not talking about the general striving for gain and honor. So I'm talking about following out of attachment. Then we are not contented with whatever we have. We are not contented with the gain we have. So if we under such circumstance for a long time, then we will break this secondary vow. So the advice for this is we have to contend with whatever we have with little desire, and if in case attachment to gain and honor arises in oneself, then we have to stop it immediately. And the third secondary vow is not respecting elders. So not respecting elders. So elders can be a senior in training, senior in practice. So like, for example, if we have the same teacher, so those who engage in Dharma practice earlier than you, so they are considered as a senior. And or in terms of vows, so if one receives the lay vows earlier than you, then they are also considered as a senior. Or those who have more quality or higher qualities than you, they're also considered as a senior. So to those senior or teacher, then we have to respect them, and then we should have high regard for them as well. So if we do not respect them, or if we do not get up from our seat when they pass by, like for example, if our teacher pass by in front of us, and if we remain seated and do not get up from our seats, that will break. If one has received bodhisattva vows, then you will break this particular secondary vow. So since we have already received bodhisattva vows, then we should respect those senior ones, those who have higher or more quality than us. And if we do so, not only that we will keep this vow, not only is this vow will be properly kept, and also it is it accords with the society. It accords with the society as well. This is what we should do generally in the society as well. So if we do so, then the other person, the other parties, they will be happy, will be pleased with us. Yeah, so this elder doesn't refer to just senior in practice only. So that also includes our parents who are senior in terms of age. So we have to respect them, and we also if they fell sick, then we send our greetings. We ask them about their health, or greet them, or offer or share or serve them with the food and drink we have. And also when they pass by, then we get up from our seat to show respect to them. So if we do so, then the bodhisattva vows will be properly kept, and on top of that, we will accumulate merits. So fourth one is not replying to questions. So regarding this not replying to questions, if another person happily asks you some questions, or asks you questions sincerely, or even greets you sincerely, like for example by saying tashiteli to you, or by saying good morning to you, then if you were to act as if you didn't hear it, and then or even show unpleasant facial expression to them, then we will break this vow, not replying to questions. So it's not limited to questions only. Even greetings are included. So the advice is, if others ask us questions sincerely, then we should reply, we should reply to that questions sincerely as well. So if others even greetings, if they greet us sincerely, then we should do so. So fifth secondary vow is not accepting invitations. So regarding these not accepting invitations, if someone out of sincerely invites you for something like, for example, for food or even for religious activities, then if you do not accept it, or if you do not attend, if you do not attend the activities or functions, then under the situations that there is no reason for you to reject such invitations, then one will break these secondary vows. So reason for you to reject could be if the persons invites you for activities that will harm oneself and others, or even that will harm one's body or life, then we can reject such invitations. So if we reject invitations that will invitations for some activities that is harmful, then we do not break this particular vow. Yes. So other than those reasons, then if one is very busy, or if one has a proper reason, then one can reject it, and by rejecting it, one will not break this particular vow. So the advice for this is, if one do not have any reason to reject, then if others invites you sincerely, then you should accept. Number 6 is not accepting gold, silver, and so on. Those are precious stones. Yeah, so if someone, a benefactor, for example, offer you gold, silver, or precious stones out of faith, then again, if there is no proper reason to reject, then one should accept it. So reason could be if that possessions or gift like gold, silver, etc., are obtained by wrong livelihood, or obtained through stealing, or obtained through robbing others, then those are the reason to reject or not to accept those gold, gift, and etc. So if those reasons are absent, then one should accept the gold. You say someone offer you 10 kilos of pure gold, then you might not be then you might not accept those gold, right? It's a joke.
Oh yeah, that leisure to that DB which data, that's it, and you know, horrible to repair, and that shape, Jobola, Gangide, Ombo to say a say, Cheta, and that Jibu Tambala in a Suzuki Sena Saya, Jimba Point, the League Sena Saya, Cheta, the Ninja one with the League, and that Puaina, Roa, that and that Suzuki Killa Pimbish, the Roa, the Lipuan, the Gandalin would raise a Roa. Language that and that the ninja, essentially ninja at the Matabi, the Hiji language, they beat the new pointers, which did that, essentially ninja at the Mataba and the Hiji language. That and that Timbala Pibish, that and that you this the name of the
Yeah, so Kishla said just now, if someone offer you 10 kilo of gold, then most probably we dare not accept it, right? So 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 when we accept those gifts such as gold, silver, etc., then we shouldn't have we should accept it out of the motivations, which is compassion towards sentient beings, and also we should adopt the perceptions of impermanence as well. So we should accept under such circumstances. So out of compassion to sentient beings, and we should adopt the perceptions of impermanent as well. So after we receive or after we accept those gifts, then we should use it to eliminate the poverty or problems of others, of sentient beings, such as those poor ones or those sick ones, and then we also should use it to benefit the teachings as well.
That dimba chende bala jimba meji bi neji tere wa chende bala jimba meji bi neji.
Seven secondary vow, not giving the dharma to those who desire it.
Da kanda ye chende bala la da nyomu ji wangi da che meji na te chende bala chiji matang neji da pe pharo batla pe che shya ge de ba shu ji da tindi ji ba ina de su su pe ha jang pe guba je jang ge se ma kong ba da ya pharo bu ya che shya de ya guba je ya asananda mai ba ya mi se ga ba tindi du na ma to de kanda che she bu che jing le se bu de che ma ji ne ji che bu le se bu wa.
So regarding this, so if someone who wish to receive dharma and then ask you and come and approach you, then if you do not have any reason, like for example, if you are not busy, or if the person not asking you sincerely, then if those reasons are absent, then you should give the dharma to those who desire it.
Da digi laja la kanda ngoy ne tsu ge che tyang da ning ke da che len de yo ba che la nyang le chen de yo ba da ten di yo ba ina de les na kanda su le pe de ku shi na de su ge shang ba de ni ji ke ku ni han de de ko na pa kanda che ji jin ba cha ba wa no shi de kanda kan tu chu de ha sa na da ku ne da che si ji ma de she ma hi ba ina de she ku de ka ha sa na da ku wa.
Yeah, so if someone sincerely desire for Dharma teachings, who sincerely wish to listen to the Dharma teachings, and who sincerely wish to practice Dharma, and approach you and request you to give them Dharma teachings, then you should give the Dharma teachings to them out of compassion, and out of the pure motivations as well. And then you should try your best to explain Dharma to them. It is like before a rain of Dharma teachings on them.
Da jeba dinda da jeba tsutin chawa na yawan do ni ji si.
So eighth secondary vow, forsaking those who have broken their moral discipline.
Da di de na ga sa na ka da tsutin chawa na se nga so pe da di se domba ya bo ma song ge chanju sin domba shi ba ina domba ma so ya bo ma song ge da de ne da ra ju kan di ina domba shi na domba ya bo ma song ge da de di di se jwa ngen ba de di je ji le ba ina ro da de la kan da ni ji in lang de kan da ro chi si mo je ba chi si mo de ba de la kan da pen ba bu gu re se ro de la pen to che bu re se de ba ni ji ki na ne de la chi si je ya ma da ko da pe 저방 연발이 유자리에서나 유샤는 지금 말해서 안다 된다 가둘라가 있나로 코로나시 야부에서 상보야 말하지 지다 야부야 말해서 또 미야부 말해서 리베 수수기 바로가 제투에 이거나 맞이가 유야야 말해서 이 유와이나 그래서 지진 차원나 야와도 내지스 지고 다 지진 차원 지고 말이지다 미저방 연바 든지지는나 다 코로스소 때 간다 때 콜라 발라지 지나 야부지 제투에 지는나 수도 제부해서.
So regarding the eighth secondary vow, forsaking those who have broken their moral discipline. So those who have broken their moral discipline is like those who do not keep their vows. For example, those who have received the Bodhisattva vows but do not keep the Bodhisattva vows properly, and Similarly, those who have received lay vows or ordained vows but do not keep them properly. So those with a bad conducts, or those those we consider as a bad person, or those we consider as a bad person. So those with broken morality, or those we consider as a bad persons, we shouldn't just say that, oh, they are a bad person, and then we just leave them, we give up on them, and then we put them aside. So rather, we should, out of compassion, then benefit them, try our best to benefit them if they are persons, if they are people who are suitable to be benefited, then who are suitable to be benefited, then we should give advice to them. If they are a person who will listen to the advice, then we should try our best, for example, by giving advice to them. So even if we are unable to benefit them, we shouldn't just give up on them or forsake them.
어디 relation 간다들이도 신체 마rum바다 치팅차 루다 쿠바나 지서 루나시 당가서 루스와데 어지 남바시 기체 쓰고라 가서 배샤오도 루스와데 무쿠바나 에 기차 아시는 된다시라 고마시베 간다 미나 간다 루스나 가서 또 슈치모 뭔가 슈치모 리베 상보메 좀 기체 시고 뭐야 루라 배샤오 다 미든지 간다 소소그 배 치팅지 동바 쉬와 이나 다 동바 송다 마시바 로다 마시바 대다 마시바 리베 다 난지 디스 저반다 마디바 든지 좀 바이나 다 그래서 참바다 민지 끼는 한데 그 간다로가 친구들이 슬라이드 데려와 슬라이드
루바디 쉽로일 쉽로
루바디
루베로 그래서
루스와 정말 또 슈체고 뭐지
디모에
또 슈체고 간다 렘바스 말에 간다 근데 구바라고 근데 디페이션 지치고
So when we encounter people who are immoral and who are foolish, like sheep. So in general, when we talk about sheep, then sheep is is described as someone who has very strong ignorance. So then even when we encounter such a foolish persons, when we talk to them or give advice to them, they do not listen, or who doesn't know how to keep vows properly, and who always engage in bad conducts, then we should, out of compassion and loving kindness, then we should benefit them.
That's also local chida menjo pe shena danda chine ina da ro patta de na dile cha cha da khanda da shena shi che go ta de pe langsa pe shena danda chine ro go da langal ro ga la pe ya di thos ma thos do do chine pe ko sho do chine pi shena cha cha chine da so so ro pa de shena chine local menjo chine da mo ne ji she go dun de ne no de gari ina de o de mi dama de ro patta ma chi se go da khanda ye 다 미베 로고 먼저 때 시비셔는 지리는 따냐도 말어서 다베 컨디션은 뭐구나 룬남도 로고 해서 다 룬남도 지리치나 룬데 로바이나 노도바이나 다 파지셔는 전혀 말이들라 신나지 가르마 가르 토나 파지셔나 링 말해서 어디 데트 페 컨디션가 저는 때 제사미 비서 그다 토나요 말아서 비서
Yeah, so most probably you city people, as you all live in the city, then you all do not know about this. However, for those villages, so when we have to travel from one place to another, then we have to pass by mountains and many places. Then if you travel alone, then you shouldn't bring a horse with you. So because why do we? If the person is is a covered, then not the courageous one is a type of coward, and then you shouldn't bring a horse with you because horse get scared easily. So if you bring a horse with you who gets scared easily, and the person also a coward one, then whatever the horse sees, then you get scared, then the person also gets scared as well. So you shouldn't bring a horse with you. A coward shouldn't bring a horse with you. So instead, you should bring a sheep with you. So why do you bring a sheep? It's like a proverb, yeah. So why do you bring a sheep with you? Because whatever the sheep sees, the sheep remain calm, because the sheep doesn't get scared easily, because sheep doesn't know anything. Whatever the sheep sees, then it will just remain ignorant and not getting scared or anything.
바로 대시 물로 미시드 니시스데 바로 대바 제시 물로 비니시더와.
And ninth, secondary vow, not observing the trainings in order to generate or sustain faith in others.
다 간다 소소게 다 두바냐니 레다 된다 데레 고 두바냐니 바로 베지 출라 대바 첨부 연주지나 다 대바 첨부 연주이나 다 소소게 간다 고 두바냐니 야고 첨부레스 데 야고 지야다 코로나 베 대바 양자 페이지다 프랑스나 사야 치 와 근데 첨부레 들이 마지 바이나 데 간다 또 물로 비니시 지브레스 와 물로 비니시.
So if there are people who have strong faith in Dharma, then oneself should practice properly. So one should practice properly, and the reason why one should practice properly is in order to generate stronger faith in the person, so that those people will accumulate even more merits out of those faith. So if one do not do so, then one will break this particular vow.
다데 일라젤라 간다 다 템발라 마디바 나 템발라 대진 주비 체데 소타질라고 거야 다 소소베냐 나저 출라베 도나 면조 하마원조 이번 면조 든지 내가 든지 여바이나 다 코랑게 베 그런 체데 소소베네 라바 최hin도 본드바냐나 야보 제바이나 또 코랑 베 체라야 이치다 대발이야 체다 든지 이거에서 라이제들와 다 소소베 취야 보지게 간다 취비 노동 지구였으니 공조 대하다 어디에나 주바지야다 드리지와이나 미신다게 주로 취지네 말에 다바리게 그바다 드리장자리 취는 라이저스 요 말에서니 다미 취야 양자 딜로지야다 카타야 인가 이와 선사 다 리간다 취라 바 이치지야다 취려야 제스 주야 체도 소소기 야보지 대상 공부 야보 제바이나 대신다 취 제일 많은 게 있나 취 제약이
So the advice for this is even when we encounter someone who do not know about Dharma, or who do not have who doesn't pay attention to Dharma, or who do not have faith, even do not have faith in Dharma, then we should practice properly as well, so that we can generate faith in them. So we can generate faith in them. So if we call ourselves the Dharma practitioners, and we always fight with others, and we always engage in bad conduct, then they will criticize us, right? Saying that, or even question us, asking us that, are you not a Dharma practitioners? Then in Dharma, in your Buddha's teachings, there is no advice. Such advice doesn't exist, or asking you to stop engaging in those actions. So such advice doesn't exist, so they will criticize Buddha Dharma, or they will badmouth Dharma because of your bad conduct. So in order to prevent them from doing so, and in order to generate faith in them, so that they will develop faith in Buddha Dharma in the future, then we should practice properly. Number 10, doing little to benefit other sentient beings.
다 신지지 된다 두어라 배 샤와 치중 된다야 뭐 그런 배 강에 충주진이나 배 강에 체내게 된이 오로와 그래 놈이 다요 말해서 와 이게 신지지 된다 두발라 다 메다 요지 라서 받아 사야다 또야 간디지 바이나 배 비게라 배나 강에 치비가라 그래서 놈이 마다 야 마지바 근데 제가 이나 딱 간다 니지 치고 해서 와 그런 배 저와도 마두바 이나 다 비게라 펜데 두야 치다 그때 충주지에 다네 가 바로도 받으라 강에 전부 차는 거라 수수 바로 빠지야 다 칼라 파바 가이나 니마지라 칼라 파바 가마랑 게 뒤로와 다 딜라페 수수 그놈이 충주다 칼라 파바 가라래 된 남에 마다 봐서서 두투야 피투야 뒤서도 제고 해서 그 마지막에 되는 게 제고 해서
So, doing little to benefit other sentient beings. So, we shouldn't, disregard even a small beneficial actions in order for the benefits of others. So, because what we consider as a small actions, it could be a big problems for others. So, for example, if a person, we might think that giving a cup of water or giving a bowl of food to others is very small virtuous actions. Then even these small virtuous actions, we shouldn't disregard it as well. Because for people who do not get food in whole day, then that bowl of food is a big problem to them. So or for people who do not get a drop of water, then a glass of water is a big thing to them. So what we regard as a small virtue, we shouldn't disregard it as well, because it could be a very big problems of that person could be in a very difficult situations because of that. So we shouldn't disregard it, and then we shouldn't ignore or neglect them as well. So we should try our best, even though if it is a small actions, then we should accomplish it as well.
roba kanto jitu yi chebo yes telaje dirwa kani cheshi batsela tape ngak boina ko korang pe lando to so mano e chebo pe lando pa de wache wa de kanda ta yoji la so ba mongji bi to ne te korang pe kani te pa se ache to so ba che ache ta liji ko ne roba che ne korang pe ta kanda ma yang sa la so ba ta ni kanda mari ba ta so ta liji wa ne so ba roba che ya la that's a need. That's also Lima, you so good to the back to get Singela, Shambata Ninji King on the Terra Chamber.
So the advice for this is out of loving kindness and compassion towards others, then we should offer our assistance to So whatever problems they encounter, it could be physically or verbally or mentally. Then, like for example, if they do not know the objects of the objects of adoptions and abandonment, then we should guide them, or we should explain to them. And if they have problems with finding food, possessions, or resources, then we should try our best to help them as well. And if physically, then we could, like for example, if a person falls down, then we help them to we help them get them up. Then those are even those are considered a small virtue, but we should try our best out of compassion and loving kindness to help them. 11th is not knowing the full purpose of compassion.
다 간다 신라 니지 원들와 다 펜바 자치모 간다로 수수비 두투아치 와 니지 원들 다 샹세나 신제 몽볼라 펜바 자치모가 희인도 타게 니지와 마지바 다 간다 수수비 펜바 자치모 희비도네 다 리와고 니지스다스 진교한 농두나야 니지기 왕 니지기 군을 하데 데 펜바 자치모 류야데 개체모레도나 다 리와고 니지다 디생가와이나 and that begin Niji King had the Pemba Jachambu to a telepa, Betty Majibina, then he changed the essay, and that did it.
So one will break these particular vows if we do not engage in, we do not act compassionately to bring a great benefits to others. So even though if it will, even though if that actions is could be the 7 non-virtuous actions of body and mind. So however, if out of compassions and one knows that by doing by engaging in one actions, that actions will bring great benefits to many others, then one should engage in that actions. So if one do not engage in that actions knowingly, then one will break this particular vow.
That the illegal de Kanda, Takanda Niji in Derwa, that Niji in the Kanda, that Shawa, Lima Niji Jimbo to lead the Tsongkhapa in Takanda Koran and Pinto Jachimbo, Hila Grupa Chiva, Chinsin Duvaina, that the Roba Chivo Niji in the Roba Chivo, and Niji, the Niji Grupa Jesse Yantabachi Mountain Bala, Niji in the Huggies in a day, and Lima Niji and Yawa, Roba Chin didn't do my. That the group of Jesse, some shimbashi to the word. Did I Lima? The now this was the husband.
So we see that I say there are times when the 7 non-virtue of body and mind are permissible to bodhisattvas to engage. So at times, like for example, if bodhisattva knows that by engaging in those negative actions, those non-virtue of body and mind, then could bring great benefits to many others, then those bodhisattvas should do so. So those are the times when those engaging in 7 non-virtue of body and mind are permissible. So if there is a reason to do so, if they are has a greater purpose to do so, then those bodhisattvas should engage in those actions, even though it contradicts the virtue of body and mind. So if those purposes, or if there is no greater purpose and if there is no reason, then one shouldn't engage in those actions. So permissible or exceptions are not just simply saying that, or one could simply engage in those actions.
知道我是都是刘继宇啊，搞是北边给别知道他讲的民阿家所教嘛，是吧？他从不记讲的民阿家是一个强大下的民阿家是呢，这个原来我是说把他可能给他话起的，等的企业个哈口的都这边的，但民阿家是吧？那可能被搞把车了嘛，被鸟完了被跌过个被就是被你接的。 민가자 때 소죠 민가자 때 대가 좀 말이게 물리서 하장 토가와 공부 쉬우친다 다 민가자 소죠나 아 인지가 맞아 봐 미생기 코로나 백가바 mambol에 단녀와라 등이 용거 등이 니지 맞아 봐 대대비 가라 미리 세워 왔어 말이 대시비 가라 대 간다 코로나 백 니지 또 첨부서 백가바 mambol에 배 예절럽 첨부들이 배 사절 세워와 예절럽 첨부들이 사절에 세워 다 간다 미시하게 디즈 네발에 게자니 다 간다 게자 럽 치와사와 중요로.
So this is also many of you might have known this story already regarding the captain. Then in order to save 500 passengers on the ship, then this one person. Then this captain killed one bad guy. So because that bad guy wanted to kill these 500 passengers in order to get the wealth from them or the money from them. So this captain knew about it. Then out of compassion towards these 500 people, because they have this human rebirth, right, which is difficult to obtain, and also out of compassion towards the bad guy as well, because if that bad guy were to kill these 500 passengers, then that bad guy would accumulate heavy negative karma that will result rebirth in hell for numberless eons. So out of compassion towards the 500 people, and also out of compassion toward that bad guy, that captain killed that bad guy. So if we were to compare so that captain did accumulate negativities as well. However, if we were to compare these negativities to the roots of virtue, the captain accumulated is much greater than the negativity. Number 12, deliberately accepting things which are acquired by wrong livelihood.
That's also the right to the Narani Mexico Shidu Juba in Siva. Natani Narani Mexico, the Kangi Kazichuman, Kangi, the Chibu Kandichumana, Chipa Chijan, Chidu Chipa Chini Siva. Noah, the Maumba, the Channel Kangi Kazichuman, and Arabic chance and channel Chetan is Siva. The Nipa Kijashini, the conduct horror with the Benjo the Ratchet, you know, the Dicton. What that the Nichibana. The Dicton take on the Lonchit Susan Rabaina, the Lonso Chow. Also, Tambo de Redua.
So the things acquired by wrong livelihood, there are 5 wrong livelihood. The first one is hypocrisy or pretensions. So if a person if person A wants to get want to get something from the person B, so wealth, for example, possessions or resources from person B, then this person A say to person B that whatever problems we have, then we share the problems together, or we face the problems together. So saying this out of the intentions wishing to get something or gift or wealth or resources from person B, then if the person finally obtain the wealth or possessions or resources from person B, then pretensions has occurred.
That's a chip of the Arabic. The Tangi Tangi into that teacher condition number 3 days. What that year I should have put noticing in Bachazarwa. That's a chip was still the one but the ship, but the sort of change of the water.
Yeah, so pretensions is obtained out of wanting to get wanting to yeah, so in Precious Garland by Nagarjuna, then it says pretension is you restrain your senses for gain and honor. So in Precious Garland by Nagarjuna, it says pretension is you restrain your senses in order for gain and honor, then that is pretension. So if you pretend in front of others by saying, I can even give you my body and my life. So if you're out of bad motivations, which is wanting to get something from the persons, then it will become a pretension.
That age la kasani the kuti chinjanga na ma was in the Tape so be nebu the right the pe takanda narag be lega be chesh yuswa tape kanda so be to ya which is so good to ya which is so good these kanda when the this in tango windows kitchen jambo shi that the this chumba the ya which so chua be ya was so the which that's also be lega karich chego na ngal tuse Kangi was no the Shenepa, kitchen jumbo in the Ratchet. Or I cheated the Nipa, she but the Kadu Shiva in the Muro. It's Jamboro, Jumbo ship. Or Sinjambo, D Chedo. 뜻들이지 니고들 아시도 또 상담이나 들어서 참 그래서 그러와.
你最终所要当个中所要的人，
对，但是背下我了，背下来了。对的，普通的我记得，但是说不平常情况的，我加了卡的去手吧呢，对了呗，地震当我们都是的，是不是？在呗新疆不现在看的，
So the second one is flattery. So flattery is as you speak pleasantly in for gain and honor. So again, this is the words. These are words from Precious Garland by Nagarjuna. So flattery is how is it? Like for example, if you want to make a piece of cloth, for example, then you saying that, then you speak pleasantly to another person. So out of the motivations wishing to get something from the person, for example, a precious stone. So for this piece of cloth is very nice, and then however, I'm lacking some precious stones to put on it, for example, then you speak pleasantly to another person out of such motivations, wishing to get something from the persons, then flattery has occurred.
但你送把的养老的呢，头一些经济在了哪去哪去，对我说国际党的是给这些我了哇，送把的，但送把的干的是呢，真的的嘞，对，他老我们呗，你找不着我这个呗，俺了呗，刚个些呗，刚个天是不干了呗，休息不，我把这是，但老我们呗，刚个的大这是呗，干的全部休息就是，但老刚个的，现在就马上是去，跟你国际党的是吧？我的把国际党的是说给我拖下的，变叫他来去，我的利息，绝对变叫他把他老做强的是吧？
So flattery is like if you say something pleasantly to others in order to get something from them. So if you finally obtain the things you want, then flattery has occurred. So the next one is hinting. So hinting, so you praise other resources for gain. So you praise other resources for gain. Like for example, you say that last year, then I had problems, and this person came and helped me. So I was very relieved because of this helper. So this year I face the same problems, but such helper doesn't appear. So I have no help. I don't get any help from anyone. So it's like you say you hint the person in this way. Then if you if you really get something from the persons, then hinting has occurred.
他习惯的看到抽筋脚啊，你必须我是先了没结果是的哇。但这边网友当年出版社会就是他看到的哇，网友当年出版社会，网友进来，看到没现在出现了我进来，他看到没现在这个边现在进来吧，他叫来人呢，我呢，可能呢现在进来吧，这样的大可能说差异呢，他可别都讲意思的，可别你进来边。 你都讲讲的也不满意噻，但叔叔被休息，叔叔里啊，俺那这边呢被这种生了啥的被休息，你就是弄到这里，对，看到叔叔了出来，他这里，没现在这些的了，把买了东西，后来这里被都叫过北京老板当的，或者高雄港面那些希望的，我你这么叔叔了来去的，我但这里就是啥原因呢？对，看到特征叫啊，是吧？你看到的叔叔了，网友去的错完了，为了的，
So. Number four is extortion by threat and accusation. So you obtain something out of force. So you force So you get something by forcing others. So if, for example, if a person A, so person A wants. Person A wants to give a gift to person C. So then, you are person B. So then the person B criticize person C in front of person A, saying that that C person is a very bad person. Then he will simply he will misuse the things you give him, and then he asks for that gift out of no reason. So don't give to person C. So give to me instead. Then by giving the gift to me, then you accumulate extensive merits, etc. So if you say this to person A out of the motivations wishing to get that thing from person A, then when you get it, then you this assertion by threat and accusation has occurred.
다 간다 나바로 성가바들 간다 간다 수수비 스penjo 야고 첨보지다 수수비는 첨보지라 아치데 파기 파 니바 친주지 대한다 보다 다든가 된다디리로 어디 간다 라와이나 로서 차는 해서 답게 하장 바로 그때 논제라 하장성 간다 내바지 와 데라치 대파 간티치도 다 코라페 니바 친주지 가르치 가고야는 때 제가 상상하시 So
last one is seeking gain from gain. So if you wish to get something from another person, and then so in order to get this thing from another person, then you give something, a small gift that the person will like it. Then you give this gift to the person so that you will get a big gift from that person. And when you get it out of such motivations, then seeking gain from gain has occurred.
That just some bang answer that that lots of the world that they legit kanda that lots of did the number kuna kanda lots of duba chair duba mja was that the roa the number kun the kadina answer that lots of the do not control ya chawa pina diwa mare ma jimba tan diwa mare kanda te roa lots of the digital diwa mare
Yeah, so advice for this is one shouldn't acquire anything by wrong livelihood. So if you were to acquire anything by wrong livelihood, then that gift or that thing is not suitable to be used as an offerings to the three jewels, and you shouldn't give this gift or this thing to others as well. If that thing is acquired by wrong livelihood, then that gift is also not suitable to be given to others.
That just
Number 13, indulging in frivolity.
That the kind of same mother the Mahua, then the nine one get the Pina, Jajuta, Singing in Balasaba, but the Digipe, Lava in a Tani, Chigri, Hesua, the nine Damian, it's a way in on the Genepe, Jala, the singing back, the Lonipe, the nine one, the Dictism which Chiva, the Shivaina, Didla, that Chigri, Hesha, to be Palas, Chigri, Hesua.
So indulging in frivolity is if you do not tame your mind and always fall under distractions, then out of these you say nonsense things to many others, and then you always say bad things or bad words to others. And if you spend time in doing this, then one will break this particular vow, indulging in frivolity.
That the larger kind of same Mahua, Shiva Shepada. That's the Naya loss about the Ligi, the judge of Dam the Sofa Pomba, the Sumalova Shiva, Daniel loss about the Zula Panzini. This say Biodanima, Sina Biotin, yes, Biotsuki to that was a name, yes, the larger Dirwa, Biotsudakimachi. Once a Pami or the thing at the Leganda with the Judge in Rua.
Yeah, so out of carelessness or recklessness, then we engage in a lot of nonsense thing and in negativities as well, right? So the advice for this is we should tame our mind, and then we shouldn't get controlled by distractions. Then we should abandon those nonsensical talk, or nonsense, meaningless talk, for example. So, and we also should we should have this conscientiousness. So we should be careful with our conduct, and then we should engage in the proper conduct as well.
Because you want somebody that has 200 Goria, 200 watch out of Pamela. Pamela, the nearby Nathaniel Mama.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, non-conscientiousness is the door to transgressions or downfalls. So meaning, if one is non-conscientious, then one will accumulate many negativities. 14, claiming bodhisattvas should remain in cyclic existence. So claiming bodhisattvas should remain in cyclic existence, if one were to say that bodhisattvas, since bodhisattvas has to remain in cyclic existence to benefit others, so bodhisattvas shouldn't be afraid of samsara, shouldn't abandon samsara, and shouldn't strive for liberations. So if one would think in this way, then one has broken this particular vow. Yeah, so it's true that bodhisattvas, they made an aspiration prayers that I will born in a place where sentient beings, where sentient beings are suffered. So I was born wherever sentient beings are suffering. So they have made such aspiration prayers in order to benefit sentient beings. So, however, it doesn't contradict the fact that bodhisattvas should strive for liberation, should abandon, strive to abandon samsara, strive to abandon afflictions as well. So, and the benefit and the efforts they should put in abandoning samsara and afflictions should be 100,000 times more than hearers.
Number
15, not avoiding bad reputation. Yeah, so not avoiding a bad reputation. For example, if someone, if others falsely accuse the bodhisattvas, saying that, you steal something, or you lied, or you kill another sentient beings, for example. If and if there is no purpose, or if there is no specific reasons, then that bodhisattva remain quiet. Then not putting any effort in removing these bad reputations or these false accusations, that bodhisattva or those who have bodhisattva vows will break this particular not avoiding a bad reputation, this vow.
정관 주야의 배 된디배 소라 내가 요발라서다 다 된디배 강이 두자지 지구 요바 있나 다 대고 뭐에는 스파 소소베 세시치네 파세 투군두나 세시치네 파 이제 세보시네 세 투군두나 세시치고 해서고 카슨 대전 지금 말해서고 된디 세시 마치 대바이나 된이 지금 해서고 와
Yeah, so if others out of disliking out of dislike mind or disliking mind and falsely accuse you as a thief or kill someone else or wanting to put you in jail or do something that will harm your life or harm your body, then those who have these those who have bodhisattva vows then should try your best to eliminate those defamations or those false accusations as well, and you shouldn't remain silent in this situation.
지단 가서 간다가서 미초면 좀 된디 배수도라 그마다 안다마다 지칭에바 라바이나 되네 앵에바 세시자 야체와요 말이야 저기서 왔다야 다가서 미를 꾸마고서 된디 라바이나 저봐 니지 지야는 지고 그래서 니지 지고는 니지 지야게요 말했어 와 다들이 다단다티 베세시 제서의 미세 그로 튀라 또라 마다치니 님바 간가라 파차와지 땅에바 차와지 된디지 배고에네 저기다 기계나 버지나 서 게두 참아 간디나 되고 배 도바사고야 어다 든디 주바 수수파 땅에 세트야는 데세 버레 마시는 이 집이 예슬 오여레 마도 지당 가서 대가지 디즈가 마가치나 칭에 반다므라 데 니지 제네 상바지 오드나 디 아슈와 데게 니지 제고 말로와
Yeah, so if in a situations that if one is being falsely accused saying that you steal something or anything out of without any specific reasons, not really that situation is not that harmful that you will get punished, like for example by putting in jail, or your defamations it will not cause your bad reputations to spread to many places, or it will not worry your teachers, for example, or bring bring bad reputations to your teachers as well. Then if it's a very small thing, just simply accuse you steal something, then you should generate loving kindness and also generate compassion to the persons. And in these situations, these secondary vows will not, you will not break your secondary vow by not clearing your bad reputations. Yeah, so the advice for this is if it will bring great harm to you, then you should try all methods to eliminate or clear that bad reputations or false accusations. Yes. Number 16 is not employing the methods to overcome others' negativities. So regarding these, not employing the methods to overcome others' negativities. So if other out of afflictions wanted to engage in heavy negativities, then if you have the ability to help them by giving advice to them so that they do not engage in those negativities, while you have the ability to do so to help them, but you do not help them, or you do not employ any methods to help them while you can, then one will break this particular vow.
도구보다 바로 빈네바 쥐바야 도니바 정바이나다 간다 네바 쥐바다 배 릴라 네바 쥐야다 소바 소소비다 로바 제투야 소등네 쥐네스 제고를 해서 달라질 때도와 바로 빈소라 네바 유야다 강이 티야 소데 다스도로 바카르 제투가 제고를 해서 라자들와.
So advice for this is if other people are going to do something, are going to do something that will harm their body or harm their life, or that will, that whatever they are going to do will become a heavy negative, will become a false or negative karma, negative actions, then one should try our best to help them, to stop them from harming themselves or from accumulating or engaging in those negativities. So then number 17 is not practicing the 4 noble disciplines or 4 principles of virtue practitioner. And the first one is not returning scolding for scolding. So if you do not think properly, then this might seem contradictory to secondary vows that I previously talked about.
Hibilendo pa hiwada chuala pa la chuada debala pa la deba changduala yanja kurang pa changdua jeba ina de yejong chishile de respe ni jechino resle worwa that lent dia bodo adirwa de lent dia moda de chema shibilem ya ngado dodo kanida ha mago ina ngado dodo shazarwa.
Yeah, so previously then I talked about not avoiding a bad reputation, right? So if there is any false accusations or defamations to you, then you should try your best to clear that bad names, bad reputations, or false accusations, right? So and when we come to number 17, not practicing the 4 noble disciplines or 4 principles of virtue practitioner, and then the first one is not scolding. Not returning scolding for scolding, not returning anger for anger, not returning beating for beating, and not exposing others' fault when others does. So then if we do not understand properly regarding these 2 particular vows, then it might seem contradictory.
The chairman's the passage chair, so the passage chair was coming the passage chair. Then that the control on a palette. Didn't know, sipping a hiki tambaina, the control of the party, Yanja Yellow hiki town. So control them in a park control them. So tissue in a part, Yanja Patishuba. So a bit change. So Jim wanted so Chella joined the dish over the joint the Changa over enough. Changa joined the Pamalabachi. Frank joined the half over in a Frank Jim Mangovachi. Jim Mangova. Or Dillo water like it. Or Koran Pachi and over in a day. Yeah, Church is more with this sort of kind of Marubi, no she lets her wa. Oh, the but that didn't ninja Janja live with that, and that didn't also ninja, but Janja live with one. 이 본인이 상황에 왔다나 별로 하래. 야 가도 상황 맞다 봐이나 개완도 만다 자산도.
Yeah, so regarding the 15 one, not avoiding a bad reputations. So if there is any bad reputations, if you have any bad, if others falsely accuse you and then cause you bad names or bad reputations, etc., then you should try your best to clear those bad names or false accusations. And when we come to 17, not practicing the 4 principles of virtue practitioner. So not returning scolding for scolding, meaning we do not return scolding for scolding out of anger. Then we do not returning anger for anger, as it means literally. Then we also do not returning beating for beating out of anger as well. And we do not, out of anger, exposing others' fault when others does. Even though you know that there are faults, you do not exposing their faults out of anger. So instead, the motivation that you should have is out of loving kindness and compassion. Then you do not engage in these these four activities: scolding for scolding, not returning scolding for scolding, anger for anger, beating for beating, and exposing their faults. Because the kunlong, because the tour the kunlong the mind ba. Yeah, so the advice for this is you do not return scolding for scolding, returning anger for anger, beating for beating, and not exposing their faults when they do. Then out of compassion towards them. So you compassionately employ methods to bring them to the Dharma side, to slowly guide them to the Dharma sides. Then you do not. So out of these compassionate motivations, you do not return scolding for scolding, for example.
That Joji by the end of what we live. That Joji about triple Yawando in the Asia. Triple the Yawando in that isn't what we live.
So then this is also quite similar to number 18, not caring about those who are angry.
The ranking here and never Shiba Shawat the Todi, the Paro with Tribala, the Troy, say, conductor the passage, the agency, and Mashiba, the Yawatova needing to rest another in that Jinsi toward the never check the dinner, this was the Jinsi Sebuchini. Pepa ship Resawa, if Mashiba needed to rehearse the Chingua.
So number 18, not caring about those who are angry. So if others are angry at you, thinking that you are going to harm them, then you do not explain to them, you do not explain to them, and then you just neglect them. Then one will break this particular vow, not caring about those who are angry.
Langan Roshu Chila Tanish Nova Ina. That mentioned the Toba and the Chungi Kamba listen Alpe, Maza Kamba Nuchia, the Bishop in Rabanda in Sarsi, Lava, Kundolon, it's a Lava Ina. Did the Lava Sashi Reservoir. Pingan Langa Divan Dua, the Pinara Guba in the dictionary to Yipandra, dictator Montacharan and Kambala Kaki Nuchia Kaki Mese, but that didn't know what it. The Subasi. The major in the Nijichi robot never use a Tomachiwa or certainly lower. Oh, teacher, this is
Another thing that you're going to do something bad to the house or to the family members, then in this situation you should explain to the house owner that I passed by because of some reason or for some purposes. I'm not going to harm you. So you should explain to the house owner that you do not have any intention to harm them. Then so this is what you should do.
the larger the Horror, probably Corona Pena, don't you turn up? How many big Jesus will ever ship with the essay? But that they got the
So just like this example, you should explain to the house owner that you do not have any intention to harm them. So the advice for this is you should explain properly to the person so that they do not get angry anymore.
That did you go by the Reva? That you go Paru Hiji, the Chapapong Nijidoa.
So number 19 is not accepting others' apologies.
다들의 가신 가서 고를 배자동 걸려야 돼. 대배 인지시 창고와. 근데 뒤에 인지 창고가 말와. 자기 지금 뭐 쇠바 강나 코랑 노예 바시리 뜻을 시장 지바이나 소소 군다사 소소 간다와. 군다 시바이나 대 파딜라 배 중앙라 배 천여바 들리 지차스다처럼 군다 가서 양자 코나 파칭해 봐. 들리 러바이나 띠니 이 지역에서 시장의 연구에서 바로 보기 미천을 배는 내가 is to judge issues, not to chase us. Not to just Rimasons, or Rimasons, the Hijan Chevy. This also the Chongal to judge which is the under Muntin pa at the love in the Nihit Chevy as and the
Yeah, so in in the context of root vows, then in order for these similar root vow to happen, then 4 binding factors or 4 conditions must be present, right? So, however, for this secondary vow, not accepting others' apologies, then these 4 conditions or 4 abiding factors are not necessary. So if one come and say sorry to you, then confess the negative actions they had done to you, and then they have already realized their faults, and they come and say sorry to you, whatever things that I harmed you, then when they apologize to you sincerely, then you should accept the apologies, and you shouldn't say bad things or criticize them.
This shot of money between us, Kundish Tangwa, Kundish Tang, and that the Kundish Tanga teacher Yomare. Kada make it Sijan Jodi, Susu Lanzape, Party Anja, Kundish Mansa to the Carichin Pa Lawaina, Shaban Malimaina, in the general.
Yeah, so in order for the breach of this root vow of not accepting apologies to happen, then the 4 binding factors must be present. However, for these particular secondary vows, these 19 vows, not accepting others' apologies, these 4 conditions or binding factors are not necessary.
Then they got a leisure, they got a children to my Shabbat, the chicken the link with the Ezra, children to the Shabbat, they got a当然是居住的地方不对，也不熟了。就当我说，去几步去的上了啊，就马上是居住了那些，那就叔叔做了，那些迷茫们那的判断呀的，没人听不见的墙上，这个样子多一个了。那平时就是满地吧，等于平时你是有的吧？你是有的，个是被叔叔对这个老师，问的说的是老师老远是基本的话，是吧？叔叔判断马上把这叔叔给。刚把他没得修修把他，呀，老爸没得修修把他，这种都有干了，不能问你没把伊呢，我等你结巴伊呢，开始判这个看吃了的民国，是说民国没得学的，理由啊，但是这玩意用到别，这样子呢，引起都是说的是老有了吧，也说的是吃了这里，人家怕那就都叫点呢，点有嘛了吧，我这听吧没有连过的是可能吧，就是那些学不能的，可能俺说。你记得被，学记得被，他们是个来家学到嘛是，就做那了，俺是做那了，被知道个罗当头了，说罗当跌当头了，来家老人多，是吧？
Yeah, so these bodhisattva vows and in this like these secondary vows, many of them are similar to the general advice in the society as well, right? So what we should do in the societies as well. So they are in in concordance. So so if they sincerely apologize to you or properly apologize to you, then you should accept the apology. So you should accept the apologies. So like in our society, then if someone did something to you, like for example, if they walk without if they walk and then unintentionally their hand hits you or their leg hits you, then and they realize it and they say sorry to you, then you should accept the apology instead of showing a bad face to them.
Kadi the Mazo or Neshibadwa, that choice in the Jason to be Nejese. That is the pay Shuresh Yang as a pay Katu, Laja.
Number 20, not checking the angry mind or acting out thoughts of anger.
That is in a Kundu, the Paropola pay Kundu Chewidi, the Kundu Tigi, Yanja Muntin Kundu Tigi Jason Rovaina. That Neji the Chigres, the Kundu Chicheba Lansa pay, this is trial, Sarwa. This Mandiba Parola pay Kundu, this Cheva Chicheba in a Yanja Muntine. Muntine pay. Shokane me susu magatla kundu cheba na nimule yanja kundu che bunda le yanja kola kundu che ni de sani no ni yanja kola kundu juma cheba ta tindi che de ni na ta ni ji che lo wa ni ji che lo re se wa
kasang su dem kongcho dem mutune
kundu ba jim kundu tambo ji che wa ina ka bu re se ga de je la kundu ni ba la de je ma che wa de je se ma do wa kundu ji che sana on di ma se se pa ka bu re se de ma ka ba men tin yanja ko kundu de juma che ba ko la je de ba ina ni ji che bu re se wa choice in the Jesus ni ji de ro.
Yeah, so not checking the angry mind or not following the angry mind. So in these cases, if other gets angry because of you, if other are angry because of you, then you should stop their anger immediately. So you should use method to stop their anger immediately, and you shouldn't just let him or her be, and then and let their anger to stay. Like for example, if they get angry at you in the morning, then you do not stop their anger immediately, and then you let them be angry from morning to noon to night to tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Then one will break this particular vow, not following the anger mind or not checking the angry mind.
That in the Laja de la Kanda, Trosi Jesu Majima, Tua de Gemma to the Pacagre, that de Magawa in a Teco Mentine Puto Cheban, this was so much better, so Mati Bada, this is sort of doing a Marman Dora. The Punto Chamber Lebaina, the Punto Duja Perua, that Nimi Chambora, Punto Chamber in the Rangi is all a Ningaliwa. The Kashipe Punto Shu Chambori, Mil Passwacheva, Kashi Punto Shu Chambori, Ranshiva, and the New World.
The parable, the control get to Rajala.
Yeah,
so when others are angry because of you, then you should use methods to stop their anger immediately or as soon as possible, so that they will not remain unhappy because of you. Because if they are angry, then they might do actions that will harm themselves or harm you, or they will accumulate negativities, and then they might even commit suicide. So if you make others angry, then you should use method to stop their anger as soon as possible. So I stop here. You can, if you have any questions, you can ask now. No questions, or we cannot hear you?
Can I ask a question?
Oh, yeah,
Can you hear me, Ken?
Yeah, can hear you.
Yes, okay. So this last one, number 20, right? Not checking the angry mind, acting out thoughts of anger. But sometimes others' minds are not within our control, right? You can, because we are not Buddhas, so we can try to stop people from being angry, but it's not necessarily that other people's anger will cease, right? So is this the break, not trying not to break this vow, is it just our effort trying, the result is something else? Or is it that the result must be the person's anger cease to not break this vow? Thank you.
Because line it in you about the two assembly jesu juve nieje de ma jongwala any yang so kasa parable gi control ro parable gi control na so the kantu to ge any de kasa de kago ro so ba ko ya the kasa de control gi gyun de kago ro muti ne control la ya de kago re so gi chane any yang nang so gi kantu to di ka gi yo ne le any the kasa parable de control lang ma lang nga so di kasa de tang kasa wang cha yo ma ro so nu ba de yo ma ro lam sang de ka tu ba any and the wang cha the nu ba de yo ma ro jie zang ni shu ba de to sem gi ji su ju be nie ji de yang ngang zo ge ka ya ge tap xie de de ma den gi cha ni xie gi yo na yang na parable yin ji min ji de yang kong zhu ge gyun de ka wo re yang di kare la ra ja le gi yo na
바로 그 콘트로치야 될 거고 디또 말다 수수배 신라 콘트로치야 될 거고 세고로 라니 신라 콘트로치야 될 거고 세고로 바로 그 콘트로치스나 까토야 쳔하고 계신 안做的 control 바로的 control的让路的就爱那그쪽에 콘트로 지랑치에 있어 봐 그 콘트로치 제가 있는 랑사 차도 랑사 거로 님들이 마스사는 게 수수 랑자 control ni ba ma che ba lang sa control ba so ka tu ba che ba so so control che ka ba se go ra mi shen da di control che ka si lo ma da ni da da ko zhe de din sa di ka sa chu sin ji ji chu be shen la control ke ba shen la control che ba ro ra ni be shen la control che ba ina ra ni shen la control ke ba ro ke ju ju ba ro che ba ro 다 제대 언디 마소사 랑사 소소 양자 문티네 폴 콘도 마치 봐. 디카야로 와이라. 디카고. 다 신다디 춘나 바로보디 컨트롤 랑사로 와이라. 랑사 콘도 나주 간디테 양자 문티네 치미야 봐. 진짜 가르 제바이나 그 소소게 콘도 양자 문에 폴 파스비 샹바이 토니. 그 소소 콘도 양자 봐 마치. 지 지사 아주디 가고로 와이라. 이니 아주디 가탑 지기요네레 이니디 바로보 이니디 컨트롤 가자 양디 아까마 투와도이나 아니 양 까마가 있는 거랑기 되어봐라. 그러니까 저기 까답 제기요래네. 얘네 대한 무티넬 컨트롤 라마라인의 거랑기 되어와래. 제가 예지디 중마중이나 나수 소소기 탑시 제기요메라 데라레기요나 양나 아니 인지 민지된 파로보데 컨트롤데 냠바. 파로보 냐케야마 소소 군로 냐고래서 수수 군로도 가거든 바로 군로가 바로 그 두자 가르치는 수수 변도 아래고 앞에는 서로 수수 양자 군로 맞이해서 파이는 바로 그 수수 넘반 넘을 때는 그걸 파 이는 왜 아래다 간다 그래서 뒤치도 균미죠 봐 그래서 제도는 균미죠 봐 초의 생기结束 주나 니지디 중기로 와이잖아 오 수수 그 균지 군로 지제사라고서 바로 보데 공도 계사로 와이잖아 수수가 바로 버들 파지야 군로 수수 제와라 네 이제 말 바로 그 군로 소소 제와라 미显来你的工作的给吧哦소소 미显来工作接吧미显那个소소 신이 저거 가 미显到工가 랑사 가去这个那这个图没有네这个번호 표시 됐다 이 그렇죠 sorry I misunderstood Kishla's explanations I misspoke so not checking the angry mind or not following the angry mind so meaning how say if I get angry at someone, if because I say 嫌疑你得控制注意了，控制老啥的没投入了，或者是那种咱们来的制度这样的这个了。Yeah. So yeah, if other people has say bad things to you or show you a bad face, for example, then that makes you angry. So if you do not stop your anger toward other people, then these secondary one will break this secondary vow. So sorry. So it's not others angry, then you stop others from getting angry or from being angry. Yeah, so it's not easy to stop others from being angry, right? So sorry. So I misunderstood Geshe-la. So not checking the angry mind or not following the angry mind means that others make you angry, then you you have to stop your anger immediately. Yeah, so it's from our side, then we should stop anger towards other do as they say bad things to you, for example.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? I want to clarify one point. When Geshe-la talks about breaking the vows, the secondary vows, and then I want to ask question, you are breaking or you are transgressing? If you are breaking the vows, then you have to take the Bodhisattva vows again. But if you are transgressing it only, then you can purify it by the 4 opponent powers. So in the case of the secondary vows, I thought that you don't really break them, you transgress them. Can Geshe-la clarify this point?
Yeah, Geshe-la, ini di zadong na nizi di keba yorwa Geshe-la. Zadong di kasa zadong di chewa ina re.
지구시야 있고.
Ah, kasa ngaju di kasa bina shasha zadong di jik chungwa ina. Di chungna ini ngaju zawa tongwa di chegi re.
네가 지구에서.
kasa zadong che dang kasa
계좌치.
zadong gewa dang nizi gewa de jibajigan ina Geshe-la.
그 말은 자도 네가 지구로.
자동 니
네가 치야 그랬어.
니바 치요. 자동 개와 단위 된지 요나. 자동 개기래. 자동 개기래. 디 니지 개기래.
네가 뭐하러?
이네 디 단위 디요로 하실라.
네가 다니다 가는
그래서 이네 디 자동 개다 니지 개다 이네 디 자지 대양 신나 가려 요래 그죠. 자동 가서 디 제와이나 디 자동 개기래. 그냥 신다.
그 니지란 게와 니지는 고시에 두드러와. 니지 두단 거는 예봐. 지그리에세. 그 자두서는 가서 빼
자지 되기라. 자지 되.
자두서는 가서 네바 치하게 되시.
지. 이네 간 자동 디 개야 다 아니 자지 신다 가려 요래 그죠. 자동 개 당 개와 자동 당 가려 그죠.
자두 난가와 이나.
네. 자지 되기라. break. 切完呢，的자동切点的有那个是啦，恰是的，给我的。
자두 난가와 이나데 domba tong로 그래서 되면 되게 자시 domba.
domba 가래?
domba tong로 그래서.
domba 동.
네 자두 난가다.
yeah. yeah. 간지나 인지 있으되 break vows and transgress vows 해야 돼. 야, 장 예지 개다, 야, 그냥 자동 나데 체와다, 예지 나데 강 개와 마도 나데 체야 요 말이스, 되네 요나, 자치 된죠. 자동 체와다 어디 되라.
Yes. When you say break, I mean break at its root, so that you have to retake the whole Bodhisattva vows again. That's what I mean. Break it at its root, but you transgress it, you don't need to retake the vows. You need only to purify. That's what I mean. So secondary vows, I understand you don't break it at its root. You only transgress, meaning that you do break it in one way or another, but you actually need to purify them. That's all.
기술라 자동 변화체는 군디 시디 요와이나. 애니디 자동데 가르치게래. 계기래. 군디 지지다 상와이나. 군 자동디.
다들 예매에서 다들에서 다빼 걸 빼 지로 샤와이나 다들에서 와. 달라 때라데 그거 get이 메비 때라 땅바 장지 마세바.
디 다다니
땅바 장 마세바. 이 군디 집에 양자변화 땅원 되어 받아와. 이 군디 시가데 참바이나 자동 제거를 해서 만산을 자동 제거를 해서
자동데 끼기래.
제거해서 자동 제거를 해서 소소지가 자동 제거를 해서 와. 어디 간다 이 군디시도 만산을 자동 제거를 해서
자동데 끼기 말해. 아니 자동데 계기래.
자동 계기로서 나지고.
Yeah. So so because this is English words, yeah. So because in Tibetan, Geshe-la explained.
상승이 동바단 개와서 되지.
상승이 동바단. 자동단 개와로.
상승이 동바단 개와 자동차로 그래서在동화 제로 그래서.
在동화 제로.
在동화 제로 그래서.
Yeah. So in Tibetan, like for example, the root vows. So if you were to praise yourself and criticize others, and these 4 conditions are present, then in Tibetan words, then root downfalls will occur. In Tibetan words, root downfall will occur. So, or the secondary downfall will occur. So this is in Tibetan words. So probably in English words, then I should how to differentiate the English words by saying breaking and transgressing. So yeah, so maybe as Mr. Gua that you mentioned, so yeah, so maybe I should say break vows, and I should differentiate the terminologies breaking and transgressing.
Maybe
Yeah.
I can stick to breaking at its root and just breaking, meaning that it is not so, it doesn't imply the retaking of the whole set of Bodhisattva vows. When you break it at its root with the four powers, with the four conditions, as in the 18th Bodhisattva vows, then you have to retake it. You cannot just glorify it just by Vakshasattva or any other means. But when you break it at its root, you have to retake it. So the difference between that is breaking it at its root and just breaking it, or rather transgressing it, to me in English lah, that to distinguish the difference.
Yeah. 就变得其实呢，其实啦，早动的记个嘞，早动记个嘞，早动的记完那呀，那的记完那，你讲出的样其实强动的样样灵个咯，啊，的搞完那记完那的，
早动做完那上次就动把的练过来，
早动的记完那咯，
上次就动把的给了我的，早动解释那上次就动把的给了，是他的那的，
上次就动把记个嘞，
我的，
呀，
对，但上次就动把的。
其实啲本地时的马唱话那样的早动的记个嘛，的早动的记个嘛的，因为的早动的卡上记个嘛的呗。
早动当记什么？上次就动把当记话的，上次就动把的练把了，你看那个意思，你所谓意思当家是叫的哇，当家叫的哇，这当家的当记了，这当家的当记比那个的练的，这早动的解释了。这早动记了也是吧？
因为的本地时的马唱话那，
这早动记个嘛的，
因为早动的记个嘛的，
你嘛都要嘛的。
早动的嘛记话那，因为讲出的早动的泥巴的穷嘛的哇。
但泥巴记嘛，他这泥巴记嘛，早动记个嘛的是。上次就动把那个泥巴记嘛的也是。泥巴记嘛，咱们都上次就动把都泥巴记个嘛的也是的。
Yeah， 当其實當搞完嘢把地窮位那，你哋長生嘅動把地現之面之地，揸東地機有嘛的，你看地
就講個年紀長嘛的不，上次
你搞完嘢把地有咯，
嘢把長教的嘛都，上次動把東洋嘛的。
Yeah, so if four conditions are not present, then how say root downfalls has not occurred. In Tibetan words, if I were to translate literally, then how say if four conditions are not present, then root downfall has not occurred. So, however, if the faults of opposing or the faults of contradicting the Bodhisattva vows has happened if four conditions are not present. So so if following the Tibetan words, then you will be using opposing or contradicting, or root downfall has not happened. So this will be the word. So but I do understand that in English, then when we say break the vows, then we have to retake the vows, and if we transgress it, then we can purify it by confessing or by doing confessions, for example. So I'm not sure. And 像是其實啲揸東啲機嘅話，啲東話啲機位那諗啦，東話長生嘅東話啲機位嚟。
東巴那個東話機位成啲。
長生嘅東巴啲機。
東巴那個東話機位，你上次東巴那個東話機位也是。
長生嘅東巴。
東巴那個東話機位。
長期東話機位。啲呢啲其實長啲揸東啲機位嚟。Yeah, 長生嘅東巴機位。
但係根據習慣上，我哋就話，所以等你去接班，在上次東巴個揸東接了我也是咯。
長生嘅東巴搞嘅東話
接嘅也是。
你揸東啲機位。長生嘅東巴搞嘅東話啲機位啦，你揸東啲機位。
真的可能是啊，他對前面說，都是蠻加的學問。
加的學問。
都是蠻加的學問。他對前面說的，對了別，他對了，本地是參與過的，對，等於是那個學班呢，但是我是東巴等可以在都接了過的也是。
Yeah, so let's say transgressions that is opposing the bodhisattva vows, transgressions that opposes that opposes a bodhisattva vows in relation to a particular vow, for example, root vow of praising oneself and criticizing others. If this happen, then root downfall has occurred. So if we follow the Tibetan words, it would be like this.
Thank you.
So we don't have time for question and answer for more question and answer. So if you have any question and answer, then you can kindly ask in coming class. So we have one more class to because the next class we are going to explain the remaining secondary vows. Then you can ask in coming class.
Thank you, Geshe-la. It's very clear now. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you. So we dedicate the roots of virtue that we accumulated since beginningless time, especially through these Dhamma discussions. So I dedicate these roots of virtue for Buddha's teachings to spread in all 10 directions and for all sentient beings to experience excellent happiness. I also dedicate these roots of virtue to all upholders of Buddha's teachings, represented by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, for their long life and for excellent health. And may their enlightened activities and holy wishes be achieved instantaneously without any obstacles. And I also dedicate these roots of virtue to world peace. May excellent happiness prevail throughout the whole world, and may wars, conflicts, disaster, pandemics be pacified immediately. I also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who suffer and those who pass away because of wars, conflicts, pandemics, and disaster. May their negativities be pacified immediately. May their negativities accumulated since beginningless time be pacified immediately and achieve the state of enlightenment as soon as possible. And we also dedicate these roots of virtue to those who help others. May they have good health, long life, and health. May their wishes be fulfilled and be free of obstacles. Kebana Kiguji Keba Nyamba Meba Yankone Kodo Bewa Jo Jambe Gewe Denzin Yombewe Kuzu Doboje Chusu Hue Lemon to do Batazo to Jekundo Shabden Jo Jesu do Jubelam Chese Kanjen de Nugun Chana Bemo Tenzin Gazola Soa de So Shen Dojo Jiden Kade Pende Maluba Kale Jungwe Sambe Shino Kade Sume Tenzin Gazola Soa de So to Shen Dojo Hadira we ko jingan de penda de wa malu jungwe ne chere se wan tenzin gazo I chape site padu tengyu ji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gisela. Thank you, Angela. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Geshe-la.
Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Geshe-la, Ken, Joe, everyone.
Thank you, Gisela. Thank you,
Thank you,
Ken,
Gisela.
everyone. Thank you.
Kuchiche,
Ken.
Genla.
Thank you, Gisela. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Never know.
Thank you, Gisela. Thank you, everyone.
Kuchiche.
Uh,